بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وبه نستعين على أمور الدنيا والدين وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد خاتم النبيين وآله وصحبه أجمعين. Is this working? It's not? Is this working? Working? You don't hear it? Is that machine on? It's on? Okay, just be quiet then. طيب. حدثنا, we're back to Shamaail al Muhammadiyyah. We're on Hadeeth 335. So we have a few more left, inshallah. We'll get there by the permission of Allah. طيب. حدثنا محمد بن عبد الله بن بزيع أخبرنا بشر بن مفضل أخبرنا سعيد عن قتادة عن أنس بن مالك رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لو أهدي إلي كراع لقبلت ولو دعيت عليه لأجبت. It was mentioned that, and again we're talking about the humbleness of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, his humility, that it was mentioned that if the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم was given a gift of a goat, a cow or a goat foot, just something small, something that most of us, if somebody came to give you some meat and they just gave you a goat or a cow, you will look at it like, what's this? Hey, yeah, wallet. And if he was invited to a dinner that had this type of goat hoof or cow hoof, you know what a goat hoof or a cow hoof is? What is it? The foot. I mean, there's no meat on there, it's just the foot. The Prophet ﷺ, he would have came, he would have answered to it. Hadith 336. حدثنا محمد بن بشار أخبرنا عبد الرحمن أخبرنا سفيان عن محمد بن المنكدر عن جابر رضي الله عنه قال جاءني رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ليس براكب بغل ولا برذون. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, he came riding or he came walking or he came riding upon a baghl, like, he didn't come riding on the baghl, like it's like a mule. And as well, he didn't come riding on a fancy horse. And the birazon is a horse that's not an Arabian stock. So they're saying that it might be like a Turkish horse. So it's not an Arabian stock horse, which makes it maybe more, Nah. Hadith 337. حدثنا عبد الله بن عبد الرحمن أخبرنا أبو نعيم أخبرنا يحيى بن أبي الهيثم العطار قال سمعت يوسف بن عبد الله بن سلام رضي الله عنه قال سماني رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يوسف وقعدني في حجره ومسح على رأسي. This companion, his name was Yusuf. He said the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم named me Yusuf, and he sat me down in his lap and he wiped over my head. So the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم was gentle with the children. Hadith 338. حدثنا إسحاق بن منصور أخبرنا أبو داود أخبرنا ربيع وهو ابن الصبيح أخبرنا يزيد الرقاشي عن أنس بن مالك رضي الله عنه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم حج على رحل رث وقطيفة كنا نرى ثمنها 4 دراهم فلما استوت به راحلته قال لبيك بحجة لا سمعة فيها ولا رياء. Hadith 339. حدثنا إسحاق بن وهو ابن منصور أخبرنا عبد الرزاق أخبرنا معمر عن ثابت البناني وعاصم الأحول عن أنس بن مالك رضي الله عنه أن رجلا خياطا دعا النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فقرب له ثريدا عليه دباء فكان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يأخذ الدباء وكان يحب الدباء. قال ثابت فسمعت أنس رضي الله عنه يقول فما صنع لي طعام أقدر على أن يصنع فيه دباء إلا صنع. This narration is similar to what we spoke about before about the Prophet ﷺ's love of pumpkins, right? That the Prophet ﷺ had a love for pumpkins, but we read this narration before. Hadith 240. حدثنا محمد بن إسماعيل أخبرنا عبد الله بن صالح حدثني معاوية بن صالح عن يحيى بن سعيد عن عمرة قالت كيل لعائشة ماذا كان يعمل رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم في بيته قال كان بشرا من البشر يفلي ثوبه ويحلب شاته ويخدم نفسه. Aisha radiallahu anha, she was asked about what did the Prophet ﷺ do in his home? What did he used to do in his home? And she radiallahu anha, she said that he was a man from amongst men, meaning that he didn't, he was a regular man. He didn't, wasn't nothing special about what he did in the home. He was a regular man. He didn't, he wasn't pompous, as you can say. He didn't, come forward. That way it'll help you, inshallah. He didn't, put on airs or, have a special seat. He fixed his own thobe, milk his own, animal, and he would serve himself. He would take care of his needs, whatever he needed to do. باب ما جاء في خلق رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. حدثنا عباس بن محمد الدوري حدثنا عبد الله بن يزيد المقري حدثنا ليث بن سعد حدثني أبو عثمان الوليد بن أبي وليد عن سليمان بن خارجة عن خارجة بنت زيد بن ثابت قال دخل نفر على زيد بن ثابت رضي الله عنه فقالوا له حدثنا أحاديث رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال ماذا أحدثكم كنت جاره فكان إذا نزل عليه الوحي بعث إلي فكتبته له فكنا إذا ذكرنا الدنيا ذكرها معنا وإذا ذكرنا الآخرة ذكرها معنا وإذا ذكرنا الطعام ذكره معنا فكل هذا أحدثكم عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. So now we have some nice information to take here. This is the hadith of Zayd bin Thabit radiallahu anhu, and it's on his son Kharija. Kharija was one of the 7 fuqaha of Medina, one of the famous narrators and scholars of fiqh from amongst the tabi'een, his son. And he said some people came to my father, or came to him, and they told him to narrate to us some hadith of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he said to him, what do you want me to narrate? He said, I was his neighbor. He was the neighbor of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he lived in close, proximity to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, whenever the wahi, what's the wahi? The revelation would come down to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he would send for me. He would send for me, and I would write it for him. And whenever, فَكُنَّا إِذَا ذَكَرْنَا الدُّنْيَا, but now it's showing you how the Prophet ﷺ mixed with the people. But whenever the wahi would come down, he would send for me, and I would write it for him. But now if we were sitting talking about the dunya, some of our dunya affairs, the Prophet ﷺ would talk about it as well. And if we were talking about and remembering the akhirah, then he will remember the akhirah with us as well. If we were talking about some type of food, then he will remember it with us as well. And so all of this is what I'm telling you about the Prophet ﷺ, showing you that, he mixed with the people, he was social. He wasn't what we would call a type of person who, if the people started talking about anything besides Allah, he would say, let me get away. No, the people are as long as it's permissible, and they're talking about some things of the dunya, the Prophet ﷺ would enjoy it with them. They talked about the akhirah, he would enjoy it with them. Hadith 242. حدثنا إسحاق بن موسى أخبرنا يونس بن بكير عن محمد بن إسحاق عن زياد بن أبي زياد عن محمد بن كعب القرظي عن عمرو بن العاص رضي الله عنه قال كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقبل بوجهه وحديثه على شر يقبل بوجهه وحديثه على شر القوم يتألفهم بذلك فكان يقبل بوجهه وحديثه على حتى ظننت أني خير القوم فقلت يا رسول الله أنا خير أم أبو بكر فقال أبو بكر فقلت يا رسول الله أنا خير أم عمر فقال عمر فقلت يا رسول الله أنا خير أم عثمان فقال, here in the text it says أنا, it should say أنا, فقال عثمان فلما سألت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فصدقني فلوددت أني لم أكن سألته. So now in this narration, it comes on Amr ibn al-As, and Amr ibn al-As, he was one of the companions who became later on, he became Muslim later on, after after the first companion. So he became Muslim later on. But Amr ibn al-As, as you know, he was one of the leaders of the Quraysh. He had noble stock, so he felt that the Prophet ﷺ had a connection with him. So he says in his narration that the Prophet ﷺ would try to bring people close to him, and he would talk to them, even the worst of the people. Sometimes he would talk to them and try to bring them close. Now, mind you, he wouldn't bring them close just so that they could be friends with him. He would bring them close to bring some type of benefit. Now, there comes a narration, we mentioned it before, I believe, or we came past it, where the Prophet ﷺ, he said the worst of the people is the one that people leave them off because of their evil. Now, how do we understand this? That should we, as Muslims, right? A person is evil, right? And we know them to be evil. We know that what they do is wrong. Do we befriend them and speak good about them? Oh, no, it's not reality. But at the same time, there's two different things that we have to pay attention to in Islam. There's mudara and mudahana, that you want to talk nice to people, right? Even though this person might be evil. Why? Because you want to make good da'wah. But you don't want to compromise your deen while doing such. That's called mudahana. That's haram. That, let's say, give you an example. This is very important to talk about today, actually. Especially for you young people, right? This is extremely important because you guys are under an attack that I don't even know if you realize the attack that you're facing, right? But there's a difference. There's what you call mudahana, which is this. That maybe you are a bad person. Not you. Someone is a bad person. This guy here is a bad person. And I want to be nice to him. But part of me being nice to him, he's like, yo, cool, you want to talk to me about Islam, but here, smoke this marijuana. It's haram. You can't give up part of your deen to try to be nice to someone. Right? Now, let's say he's a bad guy, but you're like, yo, man, listen, man, you're smart, man. You should be better than this. And you're talking nice to him. Is that wrong? So now we have an issue today. Very bad issue. We have the issue of what they call homosexuality. You know what that is? Good. It's where they say that, and we have to say it like this because it's something that's prevalent, where they say that two men can be together or two women can be together, right? Or that a person can be born, a boy can be born, but he's really a girl. But he's born as a boy, Like Allah doesn't know what he's creating, right? Well, we know the hadith where the Prophet ﷺ, as-Sadiq al-Masduq, he says what? إِنَّ أَحَدَكُمْ يُجْمَعُ خَلْقُ فِي بَطْنِ أُمِّهِ 40 يَوْمًا, right? نُطْفَةً ثُمَّ عَلَقَةً مِثْلَ ذَلِكَ ثُمَّ مُضْغَةً مِثْلَ ذَلِكَ ثُمَّ يُرْسَلُ إِلَيْهِ الْمَلَكُ فَيُؤْمَرُ بِأَرْبَعِ كَلِمَاتٍ. So all this is already written for him, right? So how is it going to be confused later on that Allah mixed it up somewhere that he's supposed to be a boy or a girl? No. Hasha lillah. It's already written for him when he's going to die, how much money he's going to make, whether he's going to be Shaqi or Sa'id, right? So how is it not written whether he's a boy or a girl? He's a boy or a girl. He's born as a boy, he's a boy. If he's born as a girl, he's a girl. So the point of what I'm saying is that what's the bad part for you guys is that they're trying to normalize this for you, right? You go to school and they tell you what? That Billy is a boy, but he thinks he's a girl, so leave Billy alone. Is this true? Billy can think that he's a girl, right? Even though he has all boy parts. Is that what happens in the school, right? Is that what they're teaching you guys? Am I correct? Yeah. So now, Billy has all boy parts, but he thinks he's a girl. In reality, that's called schizophrenia. And he's crazy. That he has boy parts, but he thinks that he's really a girl. That's called he's crazy. He needs some ruqya maybe or something. Something's wrong with him. That's not normal. It's not normal, and we don't normalize that, right? So that's the small part of the problem. The bigger part of the problem for you all now is this, right? The bigger part of the problem for you all is this, is that maybe some of the shows you watch has two men that, right? Even the cartoons they're coming out with now. They have cartoons come out with gay people. And you don't realize it. So now maybe you older ones, right, might be safe, alhamdulillah. You know that two boys cannot be together, two girls cannot be together. You know that a boy is born with a boy part, that he's a boy. But what about this one? No, seriously. Because they're not trying to get the older, they want to get this one. The next generation. So now here goes the next question. Then you have a bigger problem, another problem, right, on top of it, right? You have Muslims who want to talk about justice, right? And they want to normalize and try to think that it's ta'awun al-birr, that they work together with the homosexuals, right? Is that good in Islam? Was that the way of the prophets? The prophets do like this? The prophet Lut say, let's work with the homosexuals in my city and just call let's just call it tawheed, but no. He warned against it all, right? Openly warned against it all. His wife was killed. Why? Why was his wife destroyed? Do you know why? Do you know why the wife of Lut was destroyed? You don't know why? Was she homosexual? Illa ajuzam, right? Why was she destroyed? Do you know why? She supported it. She didn't work, she wasn't gay herself, but she aligned herself with the gays. She didn't warn against the gays. She actually told the gays that, listen, there's some men not from here, She helped them. She was destroyed. That's enough in Islam. To help a person upon doing evil is evil. You have the same sin. You help a person commit the sin, you have the same sin. Right? So now we're stuck, right? Because you go to school and they tell you that if you don't call Billy her, then you're wrong. Right? Is that what they say? Billy thinks he's a girl, so they tell you that you have to respect Billy as a girl. Right? Is this correct? I'm asking. I don't go to school with you guys, so I'm asking you if this is correct. You get in trouble if you don't call Billy a girl, right? So now what does the Muslim do? The Muslim who believes in Allah and the Messenger. Huh? How? How do you not worry about it? You don't care? This is one of those situations where you cannot not care. This affects all of us. It's not a situation this has become a situation where we're no longer able to turn the other eye because it's right there. You're no longer able to say, I don't care, or it's not my business, because now are you correct if Billy says, if you got to call Billy her, what do? And then what happens? No, then you get in trouble, right? They say that you're not respecting Billy's rights to be who he wants to be. Right? Is this correct or not? Now let me show you the irony of this. You know what irony? Let me show you the part that people forget. Now, I'm a Muslim, right? So Billy doesn't respect my rights to believe what I believe? Or the school's not going to respect my rights to believe that, no, Billy is a boy. I don't believe that Billy is a girl. So I'm going to address Billy by what I believe. The same way that Billy wants to believe that he's a girl, I don't believe he's a girl. So let Billy be in his fantasy world, and I'm going to be in my reality. So what's the difference now? So this is the part that we're talking about. The conflict here, right? That Billy is imagining that he's a girl, but you know that he's a boy. Does that make sense? So again, what does the Muslim do? Do you give a part of your deen to be nice to Billy?
No. They think about the reality and their rights that Billy is a boy.
You have to. This is a part of our aqeedah. This is reality, right? Because our aqeedah is what we know. Allah created him as a boy. That means he's what? A boy. Allah created her as a girl. That makes her what? A girl. This is a part of our aqeedah. That we believe that Allah created him. And Allah doesn't create things haphazardly or mistakenly. We know that Allah creates everything in its best form. If he created him as a boy, there's no doubt that he's a boy. So again, do you give up a part of your deen to make Billy happy? No, that's not called good manners. That's the point I want to look at. We're talking about the manners of the Prophet ﷺ. That's not called good manners. That's bad manners in Islam. That Billy says he's a girl, so do I say, hey, excuse me, Miss Billy? No. You're going to be sir to me because I'm not going to give up my belief to satisfy and please you. That's not good manners. Nor do I support this. Literally speaking, I have a First Amendment right, if we talk about the country, right, to practice a religion, right? My religion doesn't believe what you're talking about. But now we have Muslims, right, that are supporting it. This is the next evil. Why is this part the next evil? I'm going to tell you. And what's the important? Why am I talking to you about this? Because you all are the ones that have to be the ones to work against it. If you don't, his generation will believe that this is okay. Do you understand this? Why? Because they're using people your age to spread it. Do you know they have Muslim groups that you find them on Instagram and things like this, right? Muslim groups that are supporting and putting out information that, we support, then we're hand in hand with the gays, right? So what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to be quiet? Because if you let go of your deen like this and say that, it's not my business, or I'm being nice, I want to have good manners, so I'm not going to say anything, then again, we're going to lose the battle. We all have to fight together in this, but especially you all. Because it's you that they're trying to reach to. So you have to be firm enough in your deen to say, listen, I don't believe that. And being I don't believe it, I have to protect myself, and not just myself, my next generation, my children, my little brothers, because that's what they want to do. They want to reach them to make them believe that it's okay. In the UK and places, you have Muslim groups that are supporting this. Even here in America, Muslim groups marching hand in hand with the gays. Would Prophet Lut have done that? March hand in hand with the gays and say, love everyone? That's not from our aqeedah and our deen to love everyone, even if they're committing wrong in accordance to of Allah, in regards to what Allah has decreed. We love Allah over everything else. We have to have good manners with Allah. So if I say that Billy is a girl when Allah created him a boy, is that good manners with Allah or bad manners with Allah? Because now I'm saying that Billy knows more than what Allah knows. Does that make sense? No. It makes you. I get what you're saying. Don't worry. Now we have another problem. There's a lot of problems mixed in this same thing, right? Do you see how evil this issue is? And how they make it seem like it's something small and it's not your business, but how really it is your business? How really it is your business, right? How it affects you. The next thing is this, right? Is zina haram? I'm asking you, is it good? Is zina good? You sure? We all agree here that zina is haram and it's bad. Nobody should do it, right? Now, the Prophet ﷺ, he says in the narration that everyone has the opportunity to be forgiven by Allah except the mujahideen, right? The mujahideen, those who publicize their sins, right? So, how many Muslims do you know? How many people do you know who go around, right, and they say, may Allah protect, I committed zina. No, put it off the table. Go put it there.
On the floor?
Yes. Right, how many Muslims do you know that go around and say they committed zina, and they go around in front of everybody and say, I committed zina, and they raise their hand? Do you know any Muslims that do like this? Thank you. Why not? They don't want to show it out. It's haram, right? So we all agree that, what would you think about a Muslim who runs around, raises his hand in front of everyone, and he wears a flag, actually. And the flag says, I make zina every day. What would you think about a Muslim who does this?
Someone that he doesn't care about anyone.
Would you want him to be your friend and bring him over to your house? Would you want to be seen with him even? Because now, okay, a person makes a sin, right? Where a person falls into a sin. But he hates it in his heart. He's like, SubhanAllah, what did I do? That's one issue. But the person who makes a sin and is proud of it, look at the word they use. Gay what? Pride. So they're proud of committing a sin. This person is the one we do not associate with, and we do not talk to them, and we do not come close to them, and we don't let them around us, right? Because the destruction, the adhab of Allah is for that person there. He has no regret at all. He's proud of his sin. Musir. He's persistent and he's proud of it, so he has no regret at all about his sin. Right? Does that make sense? So now the person who's gay, may Allah protect and guide them. But we're talking about the one who is gay pride, right? He has gay pride. He wears a flag and he's, I'm gay and I'm this, right? What should be the position of the Muslim with this person? Because yes, it's a sin, right? But now you're proud of that sin. You're wearing it like, I commit a major sin and I'm happy about it and I'm showing it to the world. What should be our position? Can this person be our friend? Can we be around this type of person? Can we talk with this type of person like, just chill? Wallahi, you don't know when the punishment of Allah is going to come down to this person. Right? Do you want to be around when that punishment comes to him? That you support him and say, oh man, my gay friend, man, no, how can a Muslim have a gay friend? You're talking about proud, gay and prideful. And this is your best friend. Now worse than that, let's say it's a gay boy. He's your friend. That's the same way as having a girl that's your friend. You never know what he's thinking about, right? If she's a gay woman and she wants to be friends with your sister, can she be friends with your sister, the Muslim woman? She's the same thing as a man. You don't know what she's thinking about, what she's attempting to do. So there's a lot of sins wrapped up in this one thing, right? Do you see how dangerous it really is? And what they're really trying to do, they're trying to ruin your deen. And you said it's not really my business, but all of us are affected by it, correct? One, they want you to believe that Allah made a mistake in what He created. SubhanAllah. That Allah created him a boy, but no, I'm not really a boy. I'm just in this body. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. They want you to weaken part of your deen and agree with them and say and call Billy Miss or call Sarah him. Is that okay in Islam? I'm asking you all because this is real stuff happening, right? Do we go out and support them and say, no, give the gay people rights? Do we work with them in those situations to help them in those? No. What would the prophets and messengers do? Is that something that the Prophet ﷺ would do? You know when the Aisha radiallahu anha, when the Prophet ﷺ spoke about this, Aisha said, do people really do that? She was amazed to even think that this could happen. Now they're trying to make it normal. You cannot let this be normal to you. The same way that you would not want to be around with a person who has a flag on and say, I make zina every day. The same way you cannot let this become normal in your mind. That, oh, he's just a gay. No, he's a major sinner. And he's proud about it. When you allow your heart to be okay with it, you see it, you say, oh, then know that you're very close to being destroyed. When you allow your heart to be okay with just major sins and you don't have no dislike for it, you don't have hatred for it, then know that their plot is working against you. The plot of the kuffar is working against you. That you're okay with it. You say, no, it's not my problem. It's just a gay guy. Now, does it mean that we go beat them up? No. Doesn't mean that. But we have to hit them with the walakum deenakum waliya deen. Because that's their deen. It becomes their deen. You your way, me my way. Listen, you do that gay stuff over there. Just don't bring it over here to me. You could, whatever, whatever. We live in America, and of course, you have the rights to do whatever you want to do. I have the rights to be a Muslim as well. So don't infringe on my rights and bring that gay stuff over here to me. I don't want to be a part of it. If you come over to me, Billy, I'm going to call you Billy. I'm not calling you Sarah, Billy. I don't believe that you are Sarah. And I'm not going to call you her. Right? Does that make sense or not? And you have the right to do this in America. Don't weaken your deen. Don't weaken your deen to please the kuffar. Because you anger Allah by doing this. If you anger Allah to please the creation, then you've lost. Does that make sense? Don't anger Allah to please the creation. And don't seek to please the creation by angering Allah. You have to be firm upon this. Because if you're not firm upon this, then it's feared that the next generation, subhanAllah, they're already trying to have, they're trying to normalize it to even have gay imams and gay masajid. What do we do? Do we allow this? You have to speak out against it. You have to be the ones to help carry the flag of this. To say, we do not support this as Muslims. But you have to know your deen well enough to do it as well. Where you see it, you have to talk out about it. No, listen, astaghfirullah, we're Muslims, we don't do that. Don't be quiet and allow it to happen in front of you. Tamam? Sorry, we'll stop there because the food is there, so it's not going to be good to keep talking while the food is present. People are not going to focus at all.
I seen a video that they have females mixing mouth.
The same foolishness. He mentions about a video where the men and the women were praying together. Same foolishness. Where they want to make equality between men and women, right? That they're the same. It's impossible. Because as soon as, for so many obvious reasons, men should not be praying next to women, right? And women should not be praying next to men. For so many obvious reasons. وَلَيْسَ الذَّكَرُ كَالْأُنْثَى. The man is not like the woman. And the woman is not like the man. How are you going to concentrate in your salat and you have a woman praying next to you, she's smelling like a woman and stuff? What type of salat do you have? Tell me. Right? Or subhanallah, alhamdulillah, you praying behind a woman. Really? Like, come on, we're human beings. Allah created us perfect. And that's why he made a distinction between the men and the woman. How can a man pray behind a woman? There's no way possible. I don't care how righteous of a man you are. A man is not going to be able to pray behind a woman. The woman is making sujood and ruku'. What is he really going to be thinking about during those positions? Seriously. They're trying to destroy your deen by this type of stuff. Do you see how they're trying to destroy your deen? Because there's no way a person could be praying. I don't care who they are. You're not praying. Don't you even know that the Prophet ﷺ said that there's 3 things that cut off your salat if they pass in front of you? And one of them is a woman who reached the age of where she has her monthly period. If she crosses in front of you, your salat is over. So let's say, now your salat is over if she crosses in front of you. What are some of the benefits of this? Is that what? You can't be focused if a woman crosses in front of you. Your salat is over. You almost for sure you start thinking about her crossing in front of you. That's how Allah created us. He created us perfect. And he knows us better than we know ourselves. Yes. Even your sister, she crosses in front of you, it breaks the salat. A woman who reaches the age where she reaches puberty, she crosses in front of you, it breaks the salat. Got to start it over. So you got to learn that you got to put sutra in front of you so they don't cross in front of you.
You know they're trying to push for gay history in school.
What is gay history? It doesn't even exist. Like, what are they going to teach the story of Lut? Tell them to teach if they really want to teach gay history, tell them to teach the story of Lut. Huh? That's where their history starts at, huh? Tell them how they were destroyed in the town, right? Gay history. Allah Mustaan. I mean, these people have a lot of money, unfortunately, man. They're pushing it very hard because it destroys the moral fiber. Now imagine, right? What does it really destroy? Right? It destroys the moral fiber of society. Not alone does it destroy that. Imagine if everyone becomes gay. Will human beings what will happen to human beings? There will be no more human beings. Shaitan would have won then, right? Why? Because he wanted to destroy us. Shaitan wants to destroy us, right? So if we stop producing human beings, then the shaitan, he won his battle, right? And being gay is the fastest way that there's no more humans. Yes.
What if you're praying next to your mother?
Well, you're a young guy, man. So, your situation is a little different than the rest of us, okay? So it's okay for you. But the rest of us, even the older, they shouldn't be, even you actually, you should be prepared to be in front of your mother and pray. Get prepared, but get used to doing that. Be in front of your mother and you say, Allahu Akbar. You lead her in salat, right? Inshallah. But even the young, the guys shouldn't pray next to their mother, still. You don't line up heel to heel with your mother and say, no, it's not right. Okay? طيب هذا وصلى الله عليه وسلم سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك